Good evening, everyone. So forgive the ridiculous Chevrolet hat. I'm not a Chevrolet fan or a Ford fan or any brand fan, but it was a comfortable hat and it keeps the sun out of my eyes. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you. This is just a quick Love Matters. Good to see you as well. This is just a quick update. Hello, Marco Polo, Damien, Lisa, Hopi, Tammy Sanford. Good to see you. Mystery School. That's Corrine Garcia, Thomas, Denise, A Comfort, Mickey, We Are Source, Ali Santos, I Believe, April, Rebecca Spooner, Daniel Ryle. Hey, Daniel, how are you, man? Steve T, Johnny Be Good. So, like I said, please excuse the lid. I still have the mohawk. The lid is just to keep the sun out of my eyes. There's no sun right now. Hi, Gemma Church. Good to see you. Jeremy, Yarber Keith, Tammy Magia, Eric, Steve T. I just wanted to quickly give you an update since this will be the last transmission that I have for probably at a minimum 3 days, at a maximum 5 days. Or maybe 6. We'll see. Hola, Lou Majaro, Mystery School, Rick Wagner, or Wagner, Denise, Johnny Veloso, Shirley Graham. So this is the new location. I may actually change the spot, but obviously this isn't the trailer. It is a rental that was rented for us, so it was a beautiful, wonderful gift, essentially. Gift for me, anyways. I've been cooped up in a trailer on a dusty piece of property, even though I absolutely love the trailer, and this is quite uncomfortable for me, honestly. But it is nice to be able to set stuff up and have a little bit of room. So. So good to see you, Keith or Keith K, Ron Frisbee, Love Being, Desert Rose. So we have a lot of new people to the channel, and we're going to be getting into, as I said, I think many of you have heard me speak on the last few webcasts that we're going to be kicking it up a notch and getting into some deep meanings of these texts, because it's going to help you understand who you are in this mess, what has been told to you, and why it was manipulated. But more importantly, it's not necessarily important to find out why somebody manipulated you. And I would encourage everybody. I don't want to, most people have here seen The Matrix, but I would encourage you to watch the movie Truman. Now, the reason why I would encourage that is because the movie, the producer or the creator of the movie that Truman is within, that is a fake life, is played by Ed Harris. Now, I've met Ed a couple times in my life, and he was always a sweet man. I loved him. I met him on an after set of The Abyss, and The Abyss was a very good movie. I really enjoyed it, but and there's a lot more in that movie than you know. But I would encourage you to watch the movie Truman, because the character that he plays, he loves Truman because it is all he knows. It is his life. And he tried to create, or in his mind, in his warped mind, he created this fantasy world that was safe. And so he felt that Truman was safer. And that is how you have to look at the enemy. Both of them are quite different, as you've heard me talk about two enemies. So, but if you want to speak of Enki and Enlil doesn't like man, but Enki loves man. Because they're his. He made you. He made this flesh. And so you have these two personalities, the Cain and the Abel of those management gods of this matrix system, the system that we're in. And so that movie will give you a pretty good grasp, or I would say a grasp on at least who we're dealing with from two sides of the equation. That you have Enki that just would like to discard you. He'll use you if he needs you to, but basically he's wrathful and vengeful. And unless you're serving him up blood sacrifices on a plate, then he's not happy. Enki is quite different. So we're going to be getting into these two personalities within the Book of Enoch. We're going to be going into depth in that. We're going to, I'm going to be reading some of the passages and some of the details of the lost books of Enki from the cuneiform, and going into those into detail and describing to you the elements within that, because it's going to help you understand what we're contending with here. But also, through all of that, we're going to continue to discuss the things that are more important than anything, which is you. You, your spirit inside you, what is happening inside your heart, the real mind, the one right here, the ticker. It has a mind. So we're going to be getting into that. And for all of the new people here that are at the channel, I truly appreciate you coming by. There's been some people that have sent me some remarkable emails that they're like, what? Listening to all of the videos. I have created a playlist that's the Alpha and the Omega playlist, the beginning and the end, and I will continually add the newest videos to it. So there is always an automatic playlist that anyone you want to send it to, I would send them the playlist, because if they're going to go through the videos and listen, they really should start from the beginning, because there is a methodical way that I am breaking down these truths. I will definitely be giving, when we get back, I will be spending some time over the next week while I'm not online, going through the details of the trip to Monument Valley. So people keep calling it the Hopi trip. That's fine. It's Hopi, there's Navajo, there's Yavapai, there's quite a few different locations that we're going to be visiting. I have received no less than 1,000 people, no exaggeration, that want to go. So I would expect a lot of tents in the desert. And keep in mind that everybody's going to be responsible for their own food. I'm sure that there will be people that will bring food and they will make food, but you should be prepared to feed yourself. This isn't going to be for the lighthearted. It's still going to be in the middle of the desert. It will be in November. It will be cold. You will need a very good sleeping bag. You will need a good tent. We could have foul weather. In fact, I would expect it. John Dickerson says, should you read the Nag Hammadi front to back, start or somewhere special? That's a good question, John. I'm going to answer that. The Nag Hammadi codices. Okay, so the Nag Hammadi codice is this. I always have it handy. So, and as you can see, I've got quite a few tabs on it. I've created these tabs just for the different books. Every single one of these is a different book. And I would say my favorite is the Tripartite Tractate. So, John, what I would do is I would start with the Tripartite Tractate, because that's going to open up your understanding of the rest of this. These are not your average scriptures. It's quite obvious once you begin reading them why they were removed and why they were hidden and why they were burned, right? So the library at Alexandria was destroyed and burned so they could destroy things like this. And thankfully, somebody hid this in a ceramic vase and buried it in the mud next to a river in Egypt, right by the city of Nag Hammadi. So, and it was discovered by two sheep herders who, unfortunately, before they recognized what it was, or before anybody told them what it was, they had burned half of what was in the vase for firewood. So we are missing quite a bit. But you have the Gospel of Mary in here, the Gospel of Philip, the Gospel of Thomas. You have the secret book of James. You have the secret book of John. You have books in here that would have been included in a Bible. Let's remember that before the Council of Nicaea, there was no Bible. There was no assemblage of these texts, that these are all individual books, John. So I would say you take the books individually. If you read the secret book of John and you've also read the books of Enoch, you're going to find that there is 3 books of Enoch that are called the books of Enoch because some of the discoveries of the books of Enoch, 3 Enoch. So there's 1 Enoch, 2 Enoch, 3 Enoch. And in these books, it's not John 1 or Enoch 1, it's 1 Enoch. So put the number in front of the name. Kind of like 1 John, 1 John. But 1 Enoch, 2 Enoch, and 3 Enoch. You're going to find that the secret book of John is essentially the 3 Enoch. So it's the same thing. And so it's clear that someone took the secret book of John and put Enoch's name on it, which was a Hebrew scholar. Or the secret book of John, somebody put John's name on. Either way, same book. It was not uncommon for them to put other people's names on the book to get them to read it or to give it legitimacy or to make sure that people actually kept it and held it and didn't do anything with it. So, I mean, not destroying it. Hey, John, Best Damn Podcast. Good to see you. Secret Book of John is your favorite. Yeah, it's quite startling, isn't it? To read the Secret Book of John and know that there is a demon that essentially is responsible for the right fingernail, the left fingernail, the right ear, the left ear. There's a demon or angel for every single body part. Good to see you, Paula Amons, Mona Lisa 777, Lolo Flicks, Stool Purger. Good to see you, Patrick O'Neill. Hopi NG, good to see you as well. So we're going to be getting into, when I come back, we're going to be getting into deep in these. Now, Malia will be here within an hour. I still haven't seen her yet. So this is where we're staying. And I'm very excited. She will be here within an hour, and I've been waiting on pins and needles and getting the place ready and making sure that it's all clean. So I want to... but hey, John Dickerson, I just wanted to also point out, what I would do if I were you, I would read tripartite tractate. But at that point, if you're looking for clarification on the scriptures, you're going to read all of the apostolic words within it. So you're going to read the Gospel of Philip, Gospel of Thomas. You're going to read the Second Book of John. You're going to read all of those. And those are going to answer a lot of questions about the Bible. And you're going to begin to understand why they've removed these books, man. And you're also going to see that there is a common theme of understanding that these people knew the deal. They knew what was going on. And they were sharing these secrets. So the great part about this stuff is it's highly allegoric. So there are allegories, but it's not as cryptic. It's more in your face. And an example of that is where Philip actually states, when he was referring to, he says, those people that say, so he was already discussing what the Romans were doing with the story of Jesus, right? And he said, those people say that the Savior was born of a virgin of the Holy Spirit. And he goes, whoever heard of a female getting another female pregnant? So he was referring to the Holy Spirit being female. He also said that if the Savior didn't have a father on earth, then he wouldn't have referred to his father in heaven, differentiating between a father in heaven and a father on earth. So they are destroying the church's ideas already. They were already battling them, which is why Paul is the Antichrist, essentially. And I had sent a message to Jeff Doherty today, and I said, think about this statement. Somebody had brought it up, and it was beautiful. They said, think about the statement that we always make, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I wonder where that came from. So, again, I would start reading the Nag Hammadi text in depth because I'm going to dig into this like a scientist for you. And we're going to, who are the 2 Enochs? We'll go over that. There is an Enoch. But basically, they are sons. Anytime you're going to look at these characters, you're going to look at two sons, sons of Enki and sons of Enlil, sons of two people that called themselves God. So where to get a copy? Rebecca, you can order the Nag Hammadi Codices, and let me give you a little bit better close-up of this. Now, this is my book from prison. So you see it's got my nickname on there and my prison number. So, and it's quite marked up. So, but this is it. So you can pause on that. Hopefully that's turning out. It looks backwards though. Jeez. So this doesn't give a mirror image on it. You're surrounded by modern Pharisees. Every single Christian in the world thinks they know everything about the Bible, which is why they were always present no matter where Jesus was. Keep in mind, think about when you read the scriptures. Doesn't matter whether Jesus was on the other side of the river. Doesn't matter whether he was in the middle of the field and his disciples were picking heads of wheat. It didn't matter where he was. And it says, and a Pharisee said and questioned him, or questioned his disciples. It wasn't that all of them were doctors. It's just that all of them in their minds thought they were doctors. That's how that works, is that everybody had become a Pharisee. So, see if I can get to some, it's perfectly straight, I believe. 300 in chat. Wow, not bad. 306, actually. 306. They know half of it, Best Dad Podcast says. Yes. Interesting. Hubby might have some time to do tax crap. April. I don't know what that means, but tax crap. I wouldn't do any tax crap. I don't do any tax anything. Heaven is our Father's heaven or above it. It depends on who's speaking of it. They have different variations of heaven, just like there are different variations of God, and there are different variations of the attributes of the people that are proclaiming to be God, that demand to be worshipped. Paula says 308. Actually, there's better than that. It's 313. Who buried Moses? Well, you know, the amazing part is it says contending over the body of Moses, that Michael actually made a mistake, as they put in the scriptures, and that he cursed Moses, right? When they were contending over his body. I would say that you're going to find out when we get into some of these texts, you're going to find out that Moses was most likely, and his body was most likely taken by Michael. That's why he was cursed. And Michael cursed him, not by accident. So, Jason Grant, thank you, Derek. Love you. Love you, brother. Love you too. Good to see everybody here tonight. Somebody said, I can't remember, it just moved out of the way. So, but yes, thank you. Good to see everybody here. I appreciate that. Wow, 321 people in this room just for a quick little update. I'm sorry I don't have something more interesting. But I just wanted to give everybody that update and apologize for this stupid Chevy logo on this hat. When I find an all black hat, I will put it on my head. I basically put this hat on because mosquitoes, for whatever reason, they really love to go for my head. TJ Marshall, love you, Derek. Love you back. Did Eve have a total of 4 children? Yes, she had many children. She had the first child she had was actually 2 children. So Thomas was the twin of Jesus. Jesus had a twin. You're also going to learn that too, which is why Thomas is called Thomas the twin, which is also why Thomas doubted, because he's like, hey, what are you talking about? It's just my brother. So there is a woman by the billiard table, a woman by the billiard table. Where is she sitting? Right there on the chair? I'll tell you one thing about this house. This is just a rental, so I'm only here for about 30 days. But I'll tell you one thing. Since I've been here, lots of activity in this place. But that stuff don't bother me at all. So if they're good, they're good. If they're bad, I'm going to be kicking them right out of here. Trust me. April says, enjoy your get together, and so glad Jeff introduced me to your channel. Yes, thank you for coming. Jeff and I also have some things planned coming up. And Jeff will also be attending the trip up here to Monument Valley. I got to tell you, folks, this is going to be a remarkable thing. There's going to be a lot of people coming to the desert. This is truly like the real contact in the desert. There's so many people that want to come. It is so heartening for me. It just absolutely warms my heart to just see so many people seeking truth and wanting the fellowship of being around people. It's being around people of like minds. It's a remarkable thing. So if you haven't emailed me and you are interested, and there's contributions of things that you can bring, equipment, supplies, things that you can bring, trailers, stuff like that, just so I can start to get an idea. I'm going to be compiling the list of all of it, and I will put it on a very specific page in a site so you'll be able to see, not on here. I'll put it on a website so you'll be able to see all of those pieces. And sponsoring people that want to come or have something. They've got equipment, but they don't have the money to get the equipment that we'll need, things like that. So we're going to try to put all of these things together in one central location. Again, it looks like Rex Bear has also expressed interest that he thinks that he may come. Steve from WSO, Jeff Doherty. I'm going to fly up to Canada if I have to, hog tie Naughty Beaver and bring him down. But we're going to get everybody. Also, Dana Ashley has expressed interest in coming. The Steve Olson's wife, Jeff Doherty's fiance, Malia is going to come. I'm not sure whether Naughty's going to bring himself. I think Naughty should bring his mom. That's what I think. I'm going to try to get Jay Campbell as well. Yep, I believe Jay will come. And I'm going to be adding other people from YouTube because I'm getting a lot of emails from other channels, pretty significant channels. I believe that this is going to be an event. It'll be probably a YouTube first, that's for sure. And if we can do it, and if the funds and if people can fund the things, I think that we'll probably have a satellite internet uplink that we can run continuously, and that we would have on a very wideband Wi-Fi, so we could be broadcasting live, so we could have live channels going 24/7. That's what I would like to do. And then compile it. So I really leave this stuff in the Father's hands. It's amazing. It started as, hey, we're just going to go up and look at a few caves, and now it's become this event, and that's how he operates. So, Catherine Marsh, good to see you. If anybody, if you know of any channels, or you have contact with some of the people on other channels that are also into this field and into this understanding and seeking these truths, by all means, send them to my email, dbroes@gmail.com. First initial, last name @gmail.com, dbros@gmail.com. And we've got some great people coming, wonderful people coming. And anybody that I've already responded to an email and said, you'll be there, then you'll be there. John, you said, I fear something bad happening if you're all together in the same place, Derek. John, you shouldn't fear anything. Fear is not of the Father. Fear is only of the enemy. He's putting that in your head. There's nothing bad going to happen. And if something happens, then it's intended to happen. There isn't anything. Remember this. Remember Christ said to Pilate, when Pilate said, hey, talk to me. Don't you know that I have the power to free you or to kill you? And he said, you have no power unless it is granted by the Father. What he was saying was, if you kill me and I die, it's because I was meant to be killed and die. And if I'm not supposed to die, then there isn't anything you little man can do. So don't worry about us. It's going to rock. I've already seen it. Ben Riggins, we are free. Yes, we are. Fear is an illusion to keep you away. It is. Fear. There's no point of it. You can have, I would say, caution that you are always in the right place, in the place that you're supposed to be. Wherever Father wants you, that's where you should be standing. So you just make sure that you're paying attention to all of the things that he's trying to show you. Be a passerby. Let things happen. Don't try to make them happen. Derek, can you say, TJ Marshall says, Derek, can you say anything about India? I mean, I hear people worship Naga. The Naga is a location, so Nagamati is a location, but there is a lot more to the ancient Indian religions or spiritual works. There is some very profound stuff. Again, though, remember that all of these people, all of these tribes, essentially, these nations of people, when the Bible says, I will make you a great nation, it means a great people, like Hopi Nation, Navajo Nation, Cherokee Nation, Blackfoot Nation, Algonquin Nation, Yavapai Nation. All of these nations, these are nations. It's not a line on a map. So when you look at these other texts or other understandings, all you have to do is overlay them over top of the same ones here. Same thing, different names, different entities. It's kind of like Neptune and Enki being the same character, same one. TJ Marshall, yes, thank you, Derek. Anytime, brother. So I've got to still do some cleaning up here before Malia gets here. Yes, Enki did give us ego. He had to. We had to contend with this ridiculous brother. He had to give us something. Jeffrey said, if you hear voices, they are not of the Father. He questioned what you hear. I believe what Jeffrey, and we've had this conversation before, I believe what Jeffrey was talking about is that if you hear words, if you hear somebody speaking words, because that's not necessarily how the communication is. It's to the consciousness, and so the consciousness hears the truths. And so it is quite different. Inky and Enlil's other names, man, there are a lot. So, in fact, I'm going to be trying to put together, the difference is that in some texts, they try to reverse their names and their purpose. So I'm going to be putting together a graph of matching all of these names so then you can have a better understanding of it. But yeah, I wouldn't say that if you're hearing something talking to you in English and sounds like a dude from South Central Los Angeles, yeah, probably not the Father. Yes, and you do listen with the heart and not the mind. Remember that you have two minds. The heart is literally a mind. It thinks, it feels, it vibrates at a different frequency than this. 333D, 3D, worldwide, 333. Good to see you. Hello. That's a lot of names in that thing, a lot of threes in that name. Jonathan Kleck says he hears God in words. Jonathan is a guy that has very good vision of very specific things. That's all I'll say. Yes, 2021, I will create that graph. What God saved the Hopi people? Good question. We're going to go visit them. Then you'll get to see for yourself. Can I elaborate more in the heart? Johnny Veloso. The heart. Let me just try to give you this example. When any of you met that person that you wanted to fall in love with or had a crush on, and you got butterflies in your stomach, right? Do you realize that there are no nerves, no muscles, no anything that creates that? Nothing physically in your body can be found that actually generates butterflies. That is your heart. Paula Mons, bye, Mr. Bros. Have some fun. Thank you, Paula. Hi, all. Have I done, says Derek, have you already done any vids on Nag Hammadi except the first one I've seen? Yeah, bits and pieces through some of the videos. Yes, I have. 380 watching, thumbs up. I have. I've spoken on the Nag Hammadi a number of times, but I'm going to be digging in deeper, going into the tripartite tractate, because starting with there, because one thing that you're going to get from that is when you read it, you're going to recognize that halfway through the first portion of it, we relate it. It's actually going to help you understand how your mind influences what you're reading, how you're trying to filter it and fit it into your concept of understanding of where we're at. Because you get halfway through it and you realize they're not talking about the world right now. They're talking about another place and way before this earth was even formed. And so you have to stop, go all the way back to the beginning with an empty cup. Like I've said, you've got to empty your cup when you read these things. Because if you don't, you're trying to fit it in. It's like trying to jam the square peg in the round hole. You're trying to fit it into an existing concept, an existing paradigm within your mind. Forget all of that stuff. Someone asked, let me see. What about the butterfly crop circle? What about it? I'll let you tell me. I kind of have a thing with butterflies. Kink Wee, good to be you, brother Derek. It's good to be you. Johnny Veloso, empty cup. Yes, empty your cup. Empty your cup of all you think that you know. Because whenever you hear new truths, you're trying to formulate it with what you think you know. You have to empty your cup. And if what you already know is truth, it will return to it. But you have to empty your cup. And let me give you a different picture of that. If you come up to me and you say, I want the truth that you have, and you have a cup that is half filled with milk, and you go, give me your water, right? Your cup is half filled with milk, which represents things that aren't true, or misconstrued understandings, failed where somebody else has lied to you. Everything that is in there, it doesn't apply to anything you're about to learn. If I take the water that I have and pour it into that cup, that milk will mix with the water, and all of it will just be milk mixed with all of that. You're never going to have the truth. Throw the milk out, let it be filled with water. Is the matrix controlled by the masculine energy? It certainly is. Ali Santos, I love Global Witness. I love you too. Thank you much. Very much. What do I have to say about Father Abraham? Benjamin. Boy, I have a lot to say about it. I've spoken about Father Abraham multiple times. Father Abraham was somebody that obviously had to confront, just like everybody else did, that was kind of given the name Israel. Israel means one who wrestles with God. So Abraham wrestled with God because he was going to go kill his son, because this God told him to, which clearly wasn't. Now, if you read about that and then he makes a sacrifice and he sacrifices a ram, that's going to tell you the ram is represented by Marduk. Marduk was Enki's son. So that's where the sacrificing God gave his only son. I will get into a specific video. See, talking just about Abraham in a 15-second thing, that's a full hour and a half video at a minimum, just to begin. So that's why I have to do these pieces a little bit at a time. Butterfly is your feminine. It is. Develop into one. Let it blossom. Let it bloom inside you. Even the females, you think that you don't need to find the feminine. You do, because you have the mind of the masculine. Even though you are in the feminine body, you only have the mind of the masculine. you might have the element of the femininity within you and bring some of the feminine aspects of it, but you are not fully balanced in the feminine because it was removed from mankind. So I've got to prep. So I've got to, I can see I'm getting a message here. So Malia is probably close. I'm very excited to see her. I haven't seen her in quite a few months, and she is moving here. So this is her trip here. This is why we have this place rented, and I'm going to teach her how to play pool. And Mona Lisa says, Marduk is good now. He's repented. We don't get to make that choice or even decide. There is another one that will judge Marduk. So I'm going to wrap this up, everybody. I'm really 387 people in the chat room. I'm just absolutely overwhelmed by all of you. Like I said, try to make this homework. Get into your Nagamati, and then I'm going to, and this is the Anonymous Christian Branch, good to see you. This is the amazing thing about when you get into it and you read it with your perception, and then when I come and we start digging into it, that's fun, because then you can see the things and you go, how could I not see that? How did I not see that? So you begin to recognize our failed understanding and how it is relegated to our previous form, our previous paradigms, the things, how we've been programmed to think. So you really have to remove the crown of thorns for this. So everybody, I love you very much. Thank you for I just wanted to give you a quick update tonight, because I'm going to be gone for 4 to 5 days probably. If I do give an update, it's because Father woke me up and said, speak. But other than that, I'm not planning on it, but that doesn't mean that Papa isn't going to. Everybody, you have an amazing time. Dig into the videos, and I suggest that anybody is new, start from the beginning of the videos. I have the playlist. You'll see in the playlist called Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. Start from the very first video and just let it autoplay and watch those videos. There is a lot of information there that's going to help you get caught up onto where we are. It's going to be important moving ahead. I love you all very much. I can't wait to be back and talk to you. And Malia and I are also going to be putting Red Letter Disciples back in motion. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to talking to all of you, and looking forward to the event and more planning on it. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.